everyone. I am Lyric Armstrong.
And I'm Maria Chi.
And today on our episode of Science TV, we'll be talking about the different parts and areas of the brain. The brain is one, if not the most important parts of our body. It is one of the largest and most complex organs in the human body, and with that comes various parts and areas.
In order to show you guys thoroughly and accurately the different parts and areas of the brain, we are going to show you both the whole and the half brain. Today we will start off with the whole brain.
There are 11 different areas of the brain that we'll be showing you guys today. But first, you must remember that there is both a right and a left hemisphere. So therefore, many areas and parts that we'll be showing you today are on two sides of the brain.
Let's start with the brainstem. The brainstem is the oldest evolutionary part of the brain. It relays messages between the spinal cord and brain, and from the brainstem cranial nerves to the cerebrum. It helps control heart rate, breathing rate, and blood pressure.
The next part is the temporal lobe.
The temporal lobe is located on both sides of your head and is responsible for hearing, recognizing face, emotion, and long-term memory.
Can't forget about the Wernicke's area, which is also located in the temporal lobe.
The Wernicke's area is responsible for the comprehension of speech and language development. Along with the Wernicke's area, we have the Broca's area. The Broca's area is also in the temporal lobe, specifically the dominant hemisphere, which is usually, but not always, the left. It is responsible for the production of speech.
The occipital lobe, which is at the very back of your brain, ironically controls your eyes.
The outer layer of the cerebrum cortex is called the cerebral cortex.
The cerebral cortex is composed of gray matter and arranged in raised ridges, grooves, and depressions. It is involved with the most conscious activities for living.
We'll be describing the limbic system.
The limbic system is located immediately beneath the cerebrum. Within the limbic system lies a set of brain structures. They are involved with emotions, behavioral expressions, recent memory, and smell.
The next part is the frontal lobe.
The frontal lobe, which is literally located at the front of your head, is key when it comes to controlling your body movement, speech, smell, personality, emotional reactions, and more. Inside of the frontal lobe lies the motor cortex, which consists of brain areas involved in motor function.
The next lobe is the parietal lobe.
The parietal lobe is responsible for taste, body awareness, and also touch and pressure. In the parietal lobe lies the sensory cortex. The sensory cortex receives all sensory input from the body. Neurons that sense feelings in our skin, pain, visual, or auditory stimuli all send the information to the sensory cortex for processing. That's not all yet, you guys. Next, we will be describing the different parts and functions of the brain.
In order to accurately show you guys the parts of the brain, today we will now be using half of the brain.
Let's begin with the thalamus.
The thalamus is located in the center of the cerebrum and is composed of two separate bilateral masses of gray matter. It is an intermediate relay structure and processing center for all sensory information except smell going to the cerebrum.
Underneath the thalamus is the hypothalamus.
The hypothalamus is the highest integrating center for the autonomic nervous system. It controls most of the endocrine system through its relationship with the pituitary gland. It also regulates body temperature, water balance, sleep, wake patterns, food intake, and behavior responses associated with emotion.
Next is the amygdala.
Each amygdala is located close to the hippocampus in the frontal portion of the temporal lobe. They are the integrative center for emotions, emotional behavior, and motivation.
The hippocampus is located in the temporal lobe.
The hippocampus forms an important part of the limbic system. The hippocampus is associated mainly with memory, in particular long-term memory.
The cerebellum is the second largest part of the brain and is located behind the pons, more specifically behind the top part of the brain.
It is composed of the cerebral cortex, two lateral lobes, and more. It is the process center involved with coordination of muscular movements, balance, precision, timing, and body positions. It also processes sensory information used by motor systems.
Here we have the reticular formation.
The reticular formation is a complex network of nerve cells organized into ascending and descending pathways. It is located throughout the core of the entire brainstem. It controls specific functions for different neurons, including involvement with respiratory and cardiovascular centers and the regulation of the brain's level of awareness.
Remember the pons that we mentioned before that are positioned in front of the cerebellum?
While the pons are bridge-like structures composed mainly of fibers that connect midbrain and medulla, cerebellar hemispheres, and cerebellum and cerebrium. They are the site of emergence of cranial nerve and control certain respiratory functions. They also serve as a relay station from the medulla to higher structures in the brain.
The medulla is the lowermost part of the brainstem. It connects the pons to the spinal cord.
The medulla directly controls certain ANS responses such as heart rate, breathing, blood vessel dilation, digestion, sneezing, swallowing, and vomiting.
The before-mentioned spinal cord is a long tube-like structure that begins at the brainstem and ends almost at the bottom of the spine.
It consists of nerves that carry incoming and outgoing messages between the brain and the rest of the body.
The pituitary gland is a pea-sized structure located at the base of the brain below the hypothalamus.
The pituitary gland is an important gland in the body and is often referred to as the master gland because it controls several of the other
And
neuron
last but
glands.
definitely not least is the corpus callosum.
The corpus callosum is a bridge of nerve fibers that connects one hemisphere with the other. People without it are referred to people with a split brain. It also allows left and right hemispheres to share information, which helps to unify
Today
attention.
on Science TV, you have learned a lot of information about both the areas and parts of the brain.
With that being said, if you ever forget any information, simply go back, watch the video, and even take notes.
Thanks for joining us today on Science TV. See you next time.